Hello everyone, I hope you are well. We are really happy here to start this new webinar section. So today we have our guest that will be Artur.
Hello everyone.
He already joined us in the last webinars. And yeah, so just to explain to everyone, today's sections will be a bit different from our usual format because we will not only show new features or something that Shedmate can do, but we will help you to go through them. So we will be in a walkthrough for you, and especially for the new users in Shedmate that needs that hands-on the onboarding process. Okay, so just to let you know, guys, that we hear a lot questions. That's basically how difficult is the setup, how long does it takes to implement. And I know that everything that's new in our daily routine, maybe we will be worried about it and about the changes that we will need to do. But today we are here to calm you down and to yeah, and to explain how soft and how clean Shedmate can do in this new process that you will face. Okay, so I will be hosting the section, and Artur will walk us through some real onboarding examples in the platform. So just to present again, Artur is our director and CEO commercial of Shedmate. So welcome Artur again to the webinar, and yeah, feel free to help us to understand a little bit better the Shedmate onboarding.
Awesome. Thank you, Renato. Yes, this is a good one. We're gonna have like some hands-on practice here. In other episodes, we were just discussing and kind of commenting about Shedmate, but we're onboarding lots of customers this week, and there's some I wouldn't say objections, but questions that come sometimes. Oh, I need to put Shedmate on my website, and they think that's a very complex thing, but it's not. It's very simple. And you're gonna see here live, even if you don't have a website, how that could be done. We are also gonna exciting use some artificial intelligence tools to kind of speed up that process. So I'll show you how you can do that to speed up like a contract template, or how to create a quotation template that suits your business better. And that's just an introduction of those tools. I'm not going to be covering like AI fully here, but mostly how that can help you set up faster those specific milestones. So when you start with Shedmate, sometimes people are very concerned about uploading your pricing first, which is prudent. Obviously, you're going to have your pricing there so you can start quoting. But actually, steps before that. For example, if you set up your Shed presets correctly and put that the 3D Online Designer on your website, you're already starting to get return on investment on your Shedmate subscription, because you can still use your existing tools while you're making your transition, but you can have a very powerful system on your website that's going to be collecting leads and qualified leads for you, that's actually designing the shed that they want for you. So you already have a lot of data to deal with, even if you don't have your pricing configured, even if you don't have all of the details of your company set all right, that already provides you value on that step. And everything we do here is to help you to double your Shed sales profitably without new hires or franchising strings. So Shedmate doesn't tie you to any manufacturer, to any website supplier. You're free to use anyone. And in saying that, the first step in doubling sales is actually, having more leads, and then you can focus on the sales area. How can you actually convert more of those leads? And here comes many of the resources we help. For example, the site plan designer, the 3D Online Designer, that you can show your customer live their pricing impact. Other tools like architectural plans, that you can provide a lot of value to the customer so they can feel understood by you. And they can leave that first meeting from your office with that thinking that, hey, these guys understand me and they're providing me a great service, while the other quote that I asked 2 weeks ago, I'm still waiting for a reply. And here I left the first meeting with site plans, architectural plans, a very good service, and a quotation that's very detailed and shows me what I'm getting. So this is what we want you to achieve here. So think first comes that marketing side, that getting more leads, one to many, like conversation one to many about your branding, about your product, which can be added to your website. And then comes the improvement on your sales processes, so you can convert more of those leads. And then once you sell that, that's when engineering, fabrication, everything kicks in, and then Shedmate has other ways to help you out. So I'll probably focus here on that initial step, and maybe you can start by how you can include Shedmate on your website, and it's extremely simple. So maybe I'll start by sharing my screen with you, and we're gonna do like a live experiment here, Renato, see if it works.
Yeah,
And
no problem.
demonstrate something similar to what these customers they generally ask us. Um, Good. So I'm just gonna move my ChatGPT here. Gonna use that later, but I'll start with the 3D Online Designer. So here's a good example of the 3D Online Designer that you can embed on your website. And once you subscribe to Shedmate, all you have to do is come here to the 3D Online Designer. When you click on it, it's gonna open this page, and this page here is a URL, like a link that's exclusive to your company. So when you add your logo to your company on the settings, your logo is going to display there. So anyone opening that page, they're going to see your logo, they're going to see your sheds, they're going to see your environment, and any shed that's submitted through this platform is going to go to your Shedmate environment, so you can review it, produce a quote, and send it back to the customer. Okay. And then the question is, how do I actually embed this on my website? Extremely simple. So depending on the website provider you're using, if you're using like WordPress, Wix, GoDaddy, there are many different systems out there to produce your website. All you have to do is add a button anywhere in your website. And anyone who understands about website design knows that's extremely simple. Add a button, and in that button, add a link. That link would be this one. Okay, that's the simplest way to do it. And then I can show some examples here. I'll probably, use examples of some existing customers. I hope they don't mind, but it's their website, so it's public. So I don't think that's a problem to show. So if you just search here for like WidiShed, I think WidiShed did it in a good way. So we have their website here, right, about them, and they have a request a free quote. And here's the other thing, sometimes not everyone is used to a 3D online designer. You might have people who still like to type, who still like to actually provide all the information in writing. So it's good to have the two options, have like a form that they can fill out, or have something like the 3D online designer like they have here. Like, as you can see, they offer both like the online form and the 3D online designer. And that's all you need to do. You add a section to your website, you add a button, and when someone clicks on that button, it goes to that specific link. Widgets did something different here. They actually redirected, and this is a little bit more technical, and I'll leave for the website managers to do it, but you don't have to do it in day one. They actually redirected that specific link that we provided to quote.widgets.com.au. So anytime that go here, they actually go into that other link from their Shedmate environment. And here's their 3D Online Designer with their logo. If anyone comes here and selects any of these sheds and requests this quotation, this information goes to the With the Sheds company environment. So that's just a demonstration of what can be done here. And then how do we add it? Specifically, I had a customer say, Artur, I haven't finalized the implementation of Shedmate yet because I'm waiting for my website to be built. And I told him, hey, you don't need your website to be built, because the same link here you can send on a one-to-one to customers. So if you're talking to a customer on the phone, you can say, hey, look, I'm going to send you a link to your phone, like as a text message. Open that link and try to design your shed, and submit an inquiry, and then I'm going to be able to actually see better what you're actually trying to create. Or you can send this via email to customers, or you can create a QR code and print this in your office, or put in your business card, like this design and request a free quote for free. And I'll show you how to do that. So if you just go to QR code generator, just search QR code generator. There are lots of different generators out there, right? There are actually some free ones and some paid ones. You can start with free one, you don't have to pay, but it's super simple here. So just accept the cookies. So what I have to do here is just put the website URL. So if I come to this one, for example, I can copy this, and I can paste this here. And now it's automatically creating a QR code for me. So done. I have a QR code. I could download this QR code, So it's actually saying sign up to download your QR code. But I can just take a screenshot, and that's fine. I have my QR code there. The difference of the paid accounts is because when you pay for these systems, you can actually track the amount of interactions you're having. So, for example, I can create three QR codes. One, it's going to be on my office. Another one's going to be on my business card, and another one is going to be on my car. So I'm printing a big ad and put it on my car. And then I can see with time how many times people are actually scanning those different QR codes when you have a paid account. So as I said, there are many different systems that does the same service here, and the principle is the same. So I'm just testing here. So if I just scan this, it actually just loading here on my phone. Yep, it goes to our 3D Online Designer. So this QR code, and I'll show you more details here. What could be done with it? We can actually ask to create. Hey, for example, I'm gonna open ChatGPT. I'm gonna say create a business card. Example, simple for me using this QR code. Let's see if it's gonna work. Right? Create a business card sample for me using this QR code with the wording scan. Actually, let's think about something better. Get a free quote or design your shed and get a free quote. This is for a shed business that offers goat farmed sheds to the market. So this needs to be an image. Let's see if this is gonna work now. Yeah, it's creating an image for us. And you don't have to do this. I'm just using this to demonstrate, a potential outcome. Let's see how it's gonna be. I just created a very basic, prompt here, but I just want to show you what's possible out there. But if you already have your existing materials, like your business card, you can actually send to your team and say, hey, look, we have this QR code that leads to our 3D Online Designer. So let's invest on adding this to our existing documents. So when I'm giving a business card to a customer, they can just scan with their phone and and design their shed for free. Okay, so while this is loading, let me just show you another option here. So this is something I actually published a video on this the other day about how you can create your website, also using kind of a chat as well. So let's just wait for it to finalize. Yep, I think we have something here. Yeah, there we go. So here's an example. Design your shed and get a free quote. Custom design your shed, cold form steel solutions, Australian made, built to last, precision engineering, fast turnaround, reliable service, built strong, built for you. And we have that QR code there. So I just want to check if they actually use the same QR code because it would be silly if you didn't. Yeah, it actually did. So when I scan this image here in front of me right now, I get the QR code. So this is an example of where you could print and just put out there on outdoors or anywhere, and this leads directly to your Shedmate environment. So can you see that we just did here in just a few minutes something that could be like a lead generator for you, and you don't even need to have all of your rest of the setup ready. Like you're already getting a very good return on your investment with Shedmate just by getting more leads. And if you're still quoting with Excel, with other systems, you can still continue doing that while you do the transition. As I said, this is a step-by-step process. The faster you go on this process, the better, but it's something that you can do very quickly to get up to your speed, okay? So this was, as I said, just one example. You probably already have something like this for your company. You just need to add that QR code there now, okay? Does that make sense, Renato?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, I believe that a lot of people assume that this kind of integration will take too much time. Oh, I will have to contract someone to do this. As Artur said, this can be really simple. Of course, you can get this better and better by buying for a specific software and a paid software, but to initialize, that's our main goal here. That's the onboarding. You can do simple things that it will work a lot. So yeah, it's really good to see how it can be simplified, in the beginning of these of this journey.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, indeed, it's very simple. Sometimes you just create like this big monster in your head. Oh, I need to change because it's a change, and humans don't like change, right?
Yeah.
Any company when it's passing through organizational like transformation, it's painful at the beginning, but then the results come quickly when you're doing something with a quick return on investment like Shedmate, and then you're gonna just look back and you forget how your life was before Shedmate because like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't want anything else different from this because it's actually speeding up my whole workflow. And if you think about it, you just created a very basic system here that the customers are actually doing part of the sales team now that's actually designing their sheds. So you're actually giving that to the hands of the customer, which is fun. Some of them they like it. It's like, oh, cool! I can come here. I can just open this gable and I can play with it. I can change. Say this is gonna be 3.1 or 3.2. I can change. Hey, I want to change these to like 3.5 meters wide, and they can actually be part of that design. And the customers they like it. And what it means for your team as a salesperson is you don't need to do that job. Your job is to actually be an advisor for the customer about what they can change and refine and fine tune to actually get that shed to the best design option possible. Because when the sales team gets access to Shedmate, so here's an example of a shed, someone designed something like this, which is could be possible. And obviously you come here and say, okay, that doesn't make sense. So we're using an industrial door or just using a simple door. So that would be like 3.2. Okay, that's better. And then you can run your pricing, you can run engineering. You're going to go to that later, but we can kind of make modifications here that it's going to give the sales team the ability to actually call the customer and say, hey, look, the schedule design is going to cost you, I don't know, $70,000. But if you actually change that, that window to something else, that can save you, $2,000 if you change that, roller door, and then you can have that conversation and actually act as an advisor for your customer without having to design the whole thing, because the customer did that for you. You're just fine tuning it. Okay, and this provides a lot of value already. Okay. So the other thing I would like to show here is like we could use AI as well to do something like, for example, that's for the specific customer that told me, hey, Artur, I don't have my website ready yet. I'm waiting for this guy to finish, blah, blah, blah. So I'll show something very basic here. And obviously, every business is different. But I'll ask, hey, please write me a full Shed Business website script that I can paste on Lovable to create a website for my Shed Business. Ask me 5 questions to improve the outcome one at a time. So very basic script. Let's see the outcome. Like the first one worked well, right, Renata? And with artificial intelligence, obviously, it's not that it's going to work every time. You got to fine tune, you got to refine, you got to, give
it's a process.
what you want. So, okay, first question: what's the business name, location, main service? Okay, let's create I'll just read like there's something here in front of me. Facial wipes. So let me call it Facial Sheds. Facial Sheds. It's going to be located in Ballarat, Victoria, and main service area is Victoria and South East of Australia, for example. So I ask you to ask me 5 questions one at a time, because every answer that I give is actually, gets, thinks about it and asks me another question that's more deeper in that direction. So what type of sheds do you want to focus most? And I liked it actually gave me some examples here. So let's say, let's focus on garage sheds. And maybe some machinery for now. I'm keeping it simple, right?
Yep.
Great choice. So third question, what makes facial sheds different from competitors? Then we can say we deliver sheds in 5 weeks from purchase. We have our own engineering in-house. We are an experienced family-owned business. And yeah, I'll leave it like this. Every business have its own secret sauce, right? So what's the primary action you want your visitors to take on their website? So that's very important in terms of like converting in sales and getting you those more leads. Sometimes when you're creating a website, people think a lot about creating this very beautiful institutional website that has a lot of information. But if your main goal is sales, that specific page, that landing page, needs to have like one button, and that button is what you want them to do. If you actually have like 10, 15 links, they're gonna, they're gonna get distracted, right? So the main goal is use an online chat designer, and here is the link for the button. And guess what? I'm gonna go to our chat environment again, open that my 3D online designer, just copy and gonna paste here. Let's see if it's gonna do anything with it. So that's the right CTA, call to action, right? Do you want the website positioned as premium quality, best value for money, modern and technology driven? Let's go premium quality. Actually, it asked me to pick the top two. I just created one. Good. So it now created like a kind of a very detailed like website for me. Okay. Call to action, garage shed page, machinery shed page, contact. So there's a lot of information there. Once again, AI won't do everything for you. You need to be the human in the loop and actually fine tune what's here. It's not only copy and paste and expect that's gonna solve all of your problems. But for this demonstration purpose, I think it kind of does the trick that we want. Okay, it's asking me to create a free account. I'll just move to the side here, and I'm gonna log in with my data. I don't want everyone to see my information,
Yeah.
but what I'm doing here is just creating an account for that. So
yeah, I believe that nowadays it will be really common to use AI, right? So I know that the chat
yes,
industry has his the main focus of the marketing that's getting sales, and I believe that AI can help and improve a lot the sales part of things.
absolutely.
As you are doing like a website in some minutes, so yeah, it's really powerful.
Yeah, and once again, I'm just demonstrating here so we can focus on that, like how to build that marketing engine that can work for you. And once you have that landing page, and even if you already have your website, like the insights here, they're helpful because if you already have your website, you could create a dedicated landing page, and that landing page could be, quote dot facial sheds. I'm using this one as an example here. Slash like G. I generally use G for like Google because I know that's the page I'm going to advertise on Google. And then I can advertise that page, and once it's advertised, people are gonna come to my website and they're gonna see that specific landing page, and they're gonna go design my shed, and they're gonna design their shed. And once that happens, you get a lead, and that lead will have the phone number, have all the information, and then you can pretty much go from there. It's extremely powerful because you're providing value before even talking to them, and it activates the reciprocity mental trigger that, hey, someone did something for me, I want to do something in return. So when you give a gift to someone, they some people have that feeling, oh, I want to give something back. So it's the same here. If you provide a very good value to your customer, obviously there'll be customers who just walk away, but there will be those who will be like loyal. They're like, oh, this guy's a great job, I'll probably go with them. So as you can see, this is actually building this website here. I'll leave to the side, and I'm gonna go back to Shedmate because I can already start showing you some other things while we're here. All right. So let me just get.
Okay.
I'm gonna split my screen. Actually, I'm gonna put this on the side here just while we are discussing. As soon as it's ready, I'm gonna come back to it. But the other step here, once you get this ready, is to actually organize your 3D online designer. Because when you open this here, it takes you to this page, right? So this page will have some samples, and Shedmate will provide you some of those samples when you sign up to the system. You already know that if you're an existing customer, but you can easily go to settings and come here to your Shed presets. And this is gonna open a new page that you can actually modify what's in here. You can create a new shared preset. You can copy existing shared presets by just coming here and duplicate, and then make modifications to it. You can create folders. So, for example, I could create a new folder here and call it like sales and sales sheds. And I'm gonna use chat again. Create a square image for me with for me for a shed sale. Something very basic here. Once again, you probably have your information, and then you can upload these PNG images directly here, and that's going to show up on your 3D Online Designer. I want to show how this works. Although we publish a release note to our existing customers, some are not fully using this. So I wanted to kind of use the time here to demonstrate this new feature, because you can create a better, more attractive 3D Online Designer to your website. You can add real images of sheds you built in the past, and put them in categories. For example, hay sheds or machinery sheds or garage sheds. And then when they click on that folder, it's going to show up a lot of only garage sheds. So if someone wants a carport, it can show something similar. So here's our facial shed. It remembers that we're talking about facial sheds. So I'm gonna download this. I think there's too much imagery there for what we're trying to do, but I think it will do the trick. So let me just upload this. File is too large, so I just need to have a smaller file. Can you make a file that is smaller than? Let's see if it can do it.
Yeah, and just to comment that this is really good, not only for the customer that will like create the shed from the stretch, but from the sales personnel as well. So if someone calls to the office saying, "Hey, I want an American barn," you just need to click on your preset that you have already made, and it will be already on the screen. So it can be like really fast to create a model that you have already presetted it.
Yeah, that's a great one. I'll show you directly here. So we're showing the 3D Online Designer, but it's very similar on the drafts or jobs that you have in your company. So if I come here to any of those jobs, so that's a very different one. Someone created it. So I could go directly here on new shed, as you said, and it's gonna show exactly the same list. So when the sales team is actually quoting this in the office, for example, in front of the customer, they can actually come here and pick one of those options, saying, okay, now you want a storage bay, like bay shed. So then it changes the design completely to that. Or hey, I want to go back. You know what? No, let's do like just a simpler one and add a roller door on the side, and then it comes the short keys that you can get used with time. When you onboard to Shedmate, to actually provide a list of shortcuts. Sorry. So like RD is roller door. So you just press RD and boom, it's there. Or DR is like a personal door. SK is like a skylight. So a bit intuitive, but once you understand the logic, it becomes very, very good to go with it. Okay, just gonna pause here for a little bit and come back to this website design. So it actually created that website for us. Is like facial sheds, Ballarat, Victoria, premium garage, and can you see like why property owners choose facial shed, fast delivery, in-house engineering, premium quality, family owned, and they actually put some garage sheds, machinery sheds, rural sheds, custom steel buildings, and as you can see, very functional, very good website. That's all you need, and then you can come here and you can make the modifications, and then I have the design, and there you go. Look at that.
Yeah, directly.
So if you design your shed online, so because I said the focus is to actually get someone to design my shed online, actually left that button here available all the time on the website. So it's actually showing just on this side here because I can actually make modifications to my website in Lovable by actually asking things here. For example, change the top to do something, or hey, here's my logo, add my logo on the top, and it's actually gonna make those modifications with you. So once again, my goal here is not to show you how you can build websites with artificial intelligence. I just wanted to do this very quickly so you can see that if that's what's blocking you from moving to moving forward with your Shedmate and Shed sales. We just showed you here a very short a shortcut that can make it happen. You don't need something very complex. You just need something there that you can advertise, and you can get people to your Shed designer. And then once they design a shed here, that lead comes to you, and then you can call that person and make the sale. That's what we trying to help you to do here. Is like double your sales, and to double your sales, you need more leads. Okay,
Yeah.
you need a better management of those leads. And once that lead is requested here in Shedmate, the information goes directly to your Shedmate account, and then you can see all of the details of the customer, email, phone, and you can call them, you can have the conversations, and you can close that deal, which is the second step, like the sales. Okay. Yeah, so I think we were able to show this in a very good way here, how you can easily create QR codes for you to improve your marketing with the 3D online designer, how you can create your website and embed this as a button. If you already have an website in Wix, in WordPress, just ask whoever is managing that to say, hey, here's a link, add to that button. And to do this, it takes like a few seconds. Like, it's really quick to do that. It's not the end of the world to update your website. And if you don't have a website, we just show you how you can create one. Once you upgrade here, if you want, you can actually link to your domain, for example, facialshed.com.au, and publish this website. So I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna close this. I think that demonstration was enough, and then you can come back to Shedmate. Renato, is it making sense? To
Yeah, it's
someone
a
on the other
lot.
side of the screen?
Yeah, it's a lot because as you showed, like it's really simple, to make the integration. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we think that, and maybe it is, software's integration is a little bit uh, tricky. We have to export, and the file has another format and another extension. But Shedmate always tries to reduce these challenges between the integrations that our software have. So our software has some others like site plans, as we shown in previous webinars as well. So everything is really simple, and we try and we focus on this, like to integration be simple between the softwares.
Yeah, awesome. So now moving forward, as I said, if you go to the settings, it's gonna open this, and you can actually, modify the templates there. You can have a specific sessions like I created here, sheds on sale, and let me just see if this is actually better because it created a very big image with a lot of information. I just want to see if now it's actually possible to modify. Otherwise, I just need to use a system that does that. Yeah, the file is too large. So for this example, I'll just get another file here in this case, but I could send this to Canva and ask Canva to reduce this. I just don't want to spend time on it. But here's an example. I can just add another image here. Like that's an image I had on my computer, and just hit OK, and you're gonna see how it's gonna look like. So that image becomes kind of the background of that specific folder. So as I said, if you have like a square image, it works better. And then you can actually have here inside this folder some sheds that are on sale. So one tip here that I give, if you actually putting like a specific sale on your website, you can change the name in the description of that shed, and you can actually put your pricing here. So for example, it's starting from, and this could be like 29987 or whatever. Let me go $29,000, right? And just hit save. Actually, okay, what's going on here? I think it's the comma. Oh, it's not. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Renato, that's something to ask our team.
Yeah.
It's giving an error here, but I've done that
Probably.
before, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, live happens. So yeah, what I want to show here, my team's gonna fix this. I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
But it would be something like, hey, starting from $29,000, and then this could be displayed there. Okay, I really don't know what went wrong on this one, but you could have like starting from $29,000, and you could create another one there. For example, here I can delete this folder. We can, add a new shed. You can get an existing shed and say, hey, I want to move these to sheds on sale. So that shed goes to that specific folder. And then with a nice imagery on the top here, that's what we're going to attract the attention to. Your customers could come here and, and see that the range of different sheds you would have here. So you can duplicate this, for example, and I don't know why that's not working. Starting from 29K. Yeah, something's going on there. So the team is going to have a look on it. But then you could have, starting from 25K, 29K, 30,000K, and then you can have multiple kind of design options to show to your customer. Yeah, actually it worked. It's just a little bug, and my team is gonna, check on that one. So let me delete this, and I have that shed there. Another tip that I suggest here is those shed presets that we provide to the customer when they're signing up to Shedmate are just samples. But once you come here, you can actually make modifications that's gonna be more tailored to how your business operates. So, for example, here this shed is actually using a top hat, right? So if you're not using top hats, then in your onboarding process, our team is actually going to send you a business diagnostic. Probably already passed to it. If you're an existing customer of Shedmate, that you fill out and say, hey, all my sheds are Zs. We don't use top hats. Okay, then we just advise that, okay, come to those presets, and then this is going to give you an error if you don't have top hats anymore, and then you can go and pick your Z frame. This specific company I'm here only has top hat, but as you know, in Shedmate, every company is different. So you could have a Z, you could have a C frame here, you can have really whatever you want. And then you can change that frame to a C frame, and I highly recommend doing that in the shed presets, because that's what your sales team and your prospects are going to use to start a shed. So if they already start with the right information, then you don't need to change anything when you go to your quoting. It just becomes more automatic. And the same is for like purling distance to apex, minimum purling spacing. There's so many different rules there that you could set up, but you don't have to. As I said, keep it simple, because you want to get the lead. This is the most important part on the sales, on the marketing strategy, is like to get that lead. If you overcomplicate for the lead, then you might not, get that lead, and it might become harder to actually for your sales team to reach out. It's very common that I have customers saying, "Hey, Artur, I wanted to do to create a lot of restrictions here on this platform," and I generally tell them, "Hey, I don't advise doing this, because the more restrictions you create, the harder it is for the person who doesn't understand about sheds, that just wants to buy a shed, to actually share their design intent." And that's why it's very simple in this form here, that they can create anything. So you can lock things. For example, if your business is not doing sheds that are more than 18 meters long, we can lock that in for you for sure. Say, hey, sheds will only go up to 18. If your business is not doing, for example, trim deck or like rib or OP panel, we can lock that in for you as well. We can only leave here, for example, trim deck and corrugated, which are the more common. So all of these can be configured for you. But just don't try to put a lot more restrictions here that might make it harder for someone to design the shed. Just leave it free, and then once your sales team gets the information, then you can fine tune and you can organize in a better way. So the information will be passed to the sales team, so they can give you a call and make the modifications. I'm not sure if they were clear, Renato.
Yeah,
Did you understand what I mean there?
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's worth to mention that like Shedmate will not just like deliver a product for you as we deliver for all clients. Like every client will have specific
It's different.
rules, and we have different things. We don't just sell like a package that all will be included and not will be changed.
Mm-hmm.
We want to let you know that Shedmate can be really customizable, specific for your company. So this, I believe, that's one of the difference that and the great value that Shedmate has is the capacity of changing and to let the software and to make this the best way for your company and for your workflow, because every company has a different workflow, right? So we
Absolutely.
will change this based on your preferences.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Every company is different. So, use the one-to-one meetings you have with our team. That I highly recommend doing that. So these one-to-one meetings are with senior business leaders who have been there, who had like shared businesses in the past, and now they're working with Shedmate to help you, advance in your business. So when you have, your kickoff meeting, which is the first one, generally with myself or Tiago, then use those hours, bring the questions you have and follow the method. So we're sharing with you a GPS, like a step-by-step process that speeds up your ShedMate implementation. So if you follow that method, I'm sure you're going to get good results. But if you're just trying to do everything, like sometimes people start and they are really worried about how much their purling boat's going to cost. I was like, come on, mate, that's going to be less than 1% of your shed in many cases. So let's focus on cladding, insulation. Let's add this to your website to get more leads, and you can start using that tool. And even if you don't have your pricing fully set up, as we discussed here, you could just open any of those sheds and you can create architectural plans. You can create, cladding layouts. You can export like side plans. All of these you can do on day one. You don't need to do much. And there was a company that they were using Shedmate for a month already, and I went to do one of the one-to-one meetings, and I asked them, "How are you doing side plans?" And they said, "We're doing by hand." So someone does that by hand, and I was like, what? I was like, why are you
Yeah.
doing side plans by hand? Like, and then I showed them. I was like, in fact, we discussed this. You can just open the edit site here. You can type any address like Tennyson Woods College, and then from here you just hit save, and the schedule design is going to be placed on that block with the automatic block boundary added for you. You can click on that shed, move it around to the position you want, rotate it, activate high resolution imagery. You can confirm the position. You can measure the distance like from there to a specific point, like this carport here, for example, if you want. And then you press a button like export PDF, and that's a big block, so I use A3, hit go, and done. The site plan is done. How many seconds it took us to do it?
Yeah.
And then they were like, I can't believe it. Like, we're spending a lot of time doing that by hand. It's like, yeah, and you have Shedmate, so why are you doing that? So it's very important to mention that because sometimes, and that's why I highly recommend the one-to-one meetings. Like, use the one-to-one meetings. Don't miss them, because they're very important for us to actually provide advice. So here's a site plan that's way better than what they're doing by hand, for sure.
Yeah.
And it took us a few seconds, and the side plans they're doing was taking them at least 40 minutes to do something similar. So if you think about the return on investment, just this pays off, because how much you're paying for the hour for someone to do that, and what other tasks that person could be doing on your business instead of doing a manual work that we just did here with a system instantly. So this is where the leverage, starts to show. Good, Renato. We covered here a few different things. We created
Yeah.
QR codes using the 3D Online Designer. We created a website from scratch, showing how you can add that to your website. And once again, every company have a different website provider, but the idea is the same. Add a button there, and that button will lead specifically to the link of your 3D Online Designer that you have as soon as you subscribe to Shedmate. So on day one, if you're watching this video here, on day one of using Shedmate, you could have your website out there. You could have QR codes that you can, publish, and maybe in a week you receive those QR codes on a business card. You can deliver, and you can talk to people, and they can design their sheds. And we showed how to create shed presets and kind of modify them, how you can add an imagery to it. So I think the end outcome here, we can spend more time on it, but the end outcome would be to actually have like one imagery for hay sheds, another one for machinery sheds, for garages. You could have a folder for sheds on sale and put the pricing of that shed there. So there's so much you can do, and they want to actually make your business like ready for the sale. Okay. Then we have the other steps. So I don't think we're going to be able to cover everything on this live. We're going to have another one. I won't be here next week. I'm going to be traveling overseas. But the week after that, we could continue maybe on pricing.
Nice.
You can have a specific session just on pricing and how you could use like AI as well to help you for your pricing there. But I think what we could cover here in the remaining minutes is how you can configure your shed templates. Okay, so when you design your shed in Shedmate, for example, I'm just going to open this shed here. Just a quick demonstration. And this shed here already has a pricing associated with it and in engineering. So that's a $52,000 shed. and then we have here a quoting template we can use. So using the Shedmate 2025, right? And then it's going to show you the groups, like what materials, erection, everything that's included, specific variables for this project, like, include erection or council fees or concreting or fabrication. And then I have a summary of inclusion and exclusion general notes and terms and conditions you could add to it. And all of these here will be used to generate this document, which is a quoting that you export from Shedmate. When you start in Shedmate, one of the questions we ask you to do on the business diagnostic is to actually upload your pricing, your templates for your quotes, because it can actually help you to set it up in the way you want. But I'll show here like quickly how you can do that and what's involved in it. So first, I would like to show the outcome. So this is the outcome of the default template that comes with Shedmate. So you have your quotation, and then you have the information here of the customer. This customer is just a draft, so we haven't added much information about the address. That's why everything is kind of blank there. But if you fill out the full information, it's going to come here. And then you have the project information. We have a building specification. We have the steel structure detail. We have the concrete detail. We have the quote details there. The next steps in confirmation of order, and you have some images for your shed. Okay. I would like to show you how that template looks like. So if you go here to settings and you go to templates, you're going to find your quoting template, and everything that I'm going to show you here applies for contracts as well. Exactly the same idea. It's just a different template. So when you're creating a document from Shedmate, instead of creating a quote, you can create a contract, and that's going to fill out all of the information from the customer and just export a different file. And that file is based on these templates we can create. So I'm going to download this to my computer. I'm going to open it. I'm going to show you what it looks like. That's it. So if I put them side by side, there's too much things open here, right? Them side by side here so you can see. So we have here our quotation, and this is on the right, we have the actual template we use. So you can see that we have all of these variables here in brackets, right? So here's the company, street number, name, city, state, postal code. Because we didn't add this information on the draft that we created that project, that's why nothing's showing up there. Then you have information about the project name, site address, council coordinates, responsible, all of this, okay? And to change this, I would like to show you another trick. So if you open your Shedmate, so I can open here any project, go to instant quoting, and then I can jump all the way to report. And then we have here what we call the cheat sheet. So this is a Excel file. I'm going to open this as well to my computer that contains all of the variables you can use to include in your documentation, in your reports. And let me show you this list, because it's not a small list.
Yeah.
So if I click here and I expand this, it's going to show here all of the variables and the sample of what that variable reads for this specific project. We just downloaded a cheat sheet. So for example, let me look for something that has a good information here. There's a lot of true and falses. Guys, we're talking about, oh wow, this is growing by the day. We have more than 41,000 variables you could use in your reports. How good is that?
Yeah.
A tip here is obviously you can go Control F and you can find anything. So if I want to get information about columns, so I can search for column, and it's going to show me the shed column framing is a C215. So if I actually get this shed column framing, I copy this variable and I add this to my report. I already probably have it here, so let me search for it. Shed column. Yep. So that's exactly what this is doing. It's getting the shed column framing, and I have this variable here. And if I actually look at the one on the right, I have the C224, exactly the same data. So you can use any information in this cheat sheet here that we provide for you to actually populate the documents you want to export from Shedmate. could be weight reports, it could be like a quote, it could be a contract, it could be a specific document that you do in your company for private certify, you name it. Anything you want to get from that shed in terms of information, client data, you can use Shedmate to produce all of those reports for you. So we have this example here, and we could create another one from scratch. But now let's just give it a try in another tool. So I'm going to use here Claude Cowork to do that. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this file. So I'm going to add that specific file that we just got there. So let me quickly find it here. Quoting template. And I'm going to say, I'm attaching a quoting template from Shedmate. And I'm going to, just teach it some information. So for example, anything within I need to actually find the means it is a variable coming from Shedmate. And I'll give you an example. For example, and I'll get the same one we did, like column framings. So I'll copy this and saying columns could export something like columns C224. I need you to base on this document, create a contract for my shed business that can be used by Shedmate to export contracts that my customers can sign. Ask me 5 questions, one at a time. I really like to add this at the end of any prompting. Ask me 5 questions one at a time, and then we're gonna see if we can create that document for us. So it's actually reading the quoting template to understand the structure and variables before asking us anything. And by the way, I hope I have uploaded the right one, so otherwise the output is gonna be different here. And it's gonna run this. Obviously, it's gonna take a little bit longer because it's actually reading a full file. But I just want to show here that you can easily create and manipulate information very quickly and use these like tools to actually speed up your Shedmate implementation. And just an advice here. Obviously, I don't understand. That's a disclaimer, by the way, legal disclaimer. I don't understand the full nature of your business. So use this here, obviously, as a general information. And in terms of artificial intelligence, obviously, you got to be the sandwich. Like artificial intelligence is in the middle, but you got to start with what you want. You're going to let artificial intelligence do the work, and you're going to be the end of the sandwich. You're going to review everything. Don't just copy and paste. You got to test. You got to make sure it's working, okay? Because at the end of the day, you were the one hold it accountable, and you are the one with judgment about what to do. This is just a tool that's going to speed up your work. So which type of contract do you need? That's a very good question. So I'm gonna, we can create one like with supply and install, and you could create another one. I'll just demonstrate one case here. I know we're running out of time, Renato. By the way, we're gonna spend just a few minutes more here on this. So the quote already has a 60-40 payment split. So that's an example in that quote. That's 60% deposit, 40% on completion. So we could just, add a progress payment or say, in my company, we charge 20% on deposit. And you can say here 40% when you deliver the shed kit, and 40% upon erection completion. Every company is different here, but that's just one example of it. Okay, it's gonna build those 3 milestones. What warranty do you offer customers on your shed? So I can say, look, manufacturer warranty only, workmanship warranty. I'll provide the warranty wording. I'll just use manufacturer's warranty only for this example here. You should do. Does the contract need a section covering variation Yes, include a variations clause, which is very common. You start, building a shed, and then, oh, what, this is missing, so we need to have a variation here. I want to change this roller door position, add a skylight there. Okay, that's going to be a variation. And what's the territory? So I'm going to use Victoria because we were, using the example of facial sheds that we just created on this live event here. So that was based in Ballarat. So that's going to be Victoria one. And it's thinking, it's thinking. Okay, now let me read the docs queue and build the contract. So it's going to build a contract for us. We're going to see and test if it's going to work in Shedmate. And what I generally like is mostly the structure it creates, and then from that structure, I can fine tune it. I can go through each of these sections. I can remove some sections. Some examples of it is if you're not doing concreting in your business, you can just delete the whole concreting section from it. We generally put that on the contract. More information because it's easier to modify and delete than to actually add all of those new variables. So we prefer to share like a more comprehensive template with you, but you don't need to use the one we're providing for Shedmate. Okay. Okay, this is going to take a while, Renato, generally like 1 minute or so. And it's kind of reading, analyzing the quoting template, writing the contract script, and running the script. Another thing that's very important here is for you to actually check this with a legal advisor, because if you're building a contract, once again, this is just a template of how you want to structure what you want to offer. But review that with a legal contract. And something that I always like to do in my businesses is kind of have a section, even that you need to comply with some legal wording, but have a section that keeps it simple, like at least a 1 page that explains, hey, this is the process. You're going to buy your shed today. In 5 weeks, you're going to deliver it to your door, and then you're going to get someone to actually erect it for you. So the more you provide in terms of clarity, the better. If you get these contracts, which is very common in the shed industry, you have these long contracts with all of those wordings that's like number 8, that's very small, that some people can not even read without their glasses. And like, look, that's kind of okay. I know it's needed in terms of a legal perspective, but it doesn't provide much clarity to the customer. Coming back to what I was discussing about the sales process, the more value you can provide, and the more the customer can feel understood by you, the more they're gonna stick with the sale. The more they're gonna kind of go with you. So it's very important to actually have that in mind, to actually make it simple and create a session that's nice. Okay. While this is go ahead, Renato.
And I think that's really good to mention that like Shedmate will give you. It's not like just a sample. It's not just a standard sample that you use and you will have to modify it manually. No, it will generate a full document for you. Of course, you have to have a look to see if everything's good, but Shedmate will avoid you to open the document and to edit every single blank and every single information. So it's another example of how you can save a lot of time. It's not a document generic that you will have to modify these every time you are sending a quote to a customer. So let's suppose that you receive like 40 prospect for quoting requests every day. So if it was not like automatically, you would spend a lot of time. And I believe that the companies which doesn't have this, they will spend a lot of time in this process, and we will have to hire new people just to keep moving the quoting stage, right?
Correct, absolutely. So there is another video we published on our social media that how one person can quote 100 sheds a day. And look, if you're getting 100 inquiries a day, that's a lot. That's a lot, and that's with one person just doing that. And the reason we did that is because we created in the video a step-by-step process on how you can design, you can quote, and you can issue that in under 5 minutes. And if you multiply that, someone is working 8 hours a day, then look, that's all it takes, 100 sheds a day. So as Renato said, the system is automatic. Once you modify this to your liking, and once you put in the system, then it works for you. So the other thing that we've been covering here some of these sessions is that moving from operator to owner. So when you create that engine that works for you with your variable, with how you want things to work, you speed up that process a lot, and then you can move back to be like an owner in your business to actually help your team more instead of having to be all the time running operations. And that's how generally shared business owners they evolved in their journey involved in quoting, because that's what provides it brings the bacon home, right? It's like selling.
Yeah.
But if you can automate that process and actually empower more people to do it, then your income can go up as well. Okay. Um, yeah, awesome. I'll just come back here, Renato. We got
Okay.
an example of a building contract. So I'm just gonna show this in a folder here, and let me just modify this. Just moving in my own computer here to a different position. And before even reading it, I'll just send that directly to Shedmate. So here's what it created for me: like building contract, supply and install. Here I have the parties, so you can see it actually getting a lot of those details from Shedmate. Hopefully it's right. Project details, building specifications, and concrete details. Contract price. So I have everything there. Payment schedule. So you have the deposit 20%, progress payment 40, final payment 40, exactly as we discussed. I can see it actually created some specific variables. I know by experience this is not going to work. It's actually showing total 40 kit, 40 erections. So this is what we call a hallucination. That's when artificial intelligence creates something that actually doesn't exist, right? So that's why it's very important for you to review it. But it created a very good, template for me, and then I'm gonna work on that template. So here you have the terms and conditions about the contract, about the scope of work, site access, council, engineering, cancellation, and obviously this needs to be reviewed by your company and your legal department. Acceptance and signatures. That's it. I really like the model it created for us. So I know it's not going to work completely because of these kind of hallucinations we created here, but it can be a very good model for us to start. So let me go back to Shedmate now. I'll just start again from the beginning. We go to settings, go to templates, and we created a contract. So now I can just upload that file we just created. So let me just move this around. My computer froze now. Okay, let me try that again. I think it's because in the other screen. Let me just try here on the other one. Contracts, upload again. Okay, I'm just trying to find the file here that I saved now. Just a second. Yeah. The funny things of being live, right? Home.
Yeah, it happens. But I really
Okay, I'll have
like
to save.
yeah, they put
I'll have to save it
they
again.
that they bring to us. Like it's like we have to, of course, to edit and to modify some things in this document, but it was really complete.
It is. It's just getting better and better, isn't it? Like, what happened there is I just moved that file from another one, so it's just trying to create another file because I just moved to a place and I don't know where I put it. Yeah, my apologies. Just bear with me a little bit more. We're gonna see the end outcome here.
Yeah.
Trying
Check
to
the
find it.
results.
Yeah, let me maybe see if I can find on the more recent files on Microsoft Word. Come on, it looks so nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I need more time here, Renato.
No
Just bear
problem.
with me, folks.
Take your time. But it's really interesting. Like we covered in this time, like we created a website from the scratch. We added the link the QR code link directly to the website to connect with Shedmate. We really fast we explained about site plans that's connected with Shedmate as well. And now we are like changing the contract, and
Yep.
I'm not sure, like maybe a company has already its contract, and maybe think that it will be a lot of work to change like the design and the writing. But like as we are trying to show that like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, we can like changing the whole
Yep.
document. And like I know that companies likes to use what are working at the moment for them, but like we can deliver more professionalism through the documentation as well, you know.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if you want to go ahead and to deliver a best service to the client, you can like change these minor things on contracts, on the quoting document, and like you will deliver more professionalism as well to your business.
Yeah. Yes, yes. And as you're saying, Renato, we're just in our 1 hour live here. I know it's taking longer than that because of these delays, but yeah, we did so much already. And adding a logo, creating your QR codes, modifying a website, all of this can be done, very, very quickly if you actually have access to the right, tools. And we're just showing here, good way to do it. One example here that's very good to mention is we created a document. So I'll just go back to the beginning to show you. So we modified the creative a artificial intelligence that document. It's here on the templates, and if you go to contracts, it's there. I could rename it to kind of contract Shedmate. That would be actually better. And let me maybe try to do that. So just so we can have really something that's good. Okay, so let me rename this Shedmate contract sample. Now what I'll do is I'll just upload this again. Never mind. I keep losing the file. I have so many things open here in the live, but this will do. So what we did, we just uploaded this directly from the artificial intelligence system I was using here, Claude Work, and here is the file, right? We can actually go now to a draft, and you're gonna see a limitation by default by plan. If I come here and I try to create the contract from here, for example, report, you're going to see that, hey, where's my contract? It's not there. So it's a common question as well. So Shedmate allows you to set up permissions. So sometimes your sales team won't be able to create the contract, but an admin person will, for example. And they might not be able to do that in the point of sale system, which is this one here. So what we need to do here is we need to, as a manager of the organization, you need to go to your reports on the instant quoting. And then guess what? We have here allow point of sales to generate the contract document and to pick the contract report template. And then you can use that one as default. This is a doc file, so not docx. That was what the AI created. So let's just see if this is gonna work. So I could generate directly from here, but I just want to show that now it's gonna show up on the quoting. If I actually go there and we click here, now I have the two options. I can create a quote or I can create a contract. So let's just hit generate and let's see if Shedmate's going to work well. Okay, good. We've got here a demo file. Let's open this. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it works. There we go. It does. So this is the building contract. So obviously things I would do here. I would put my branding, I would add my logo to that template, but I just want to show that all of those variables that we used from that sample that we provide, they come here. So the contract date is like today, and here's the contract number prepared by myself. That's a code version 19. And here are the parties, like engineering demo is the name of the, sorry, engineering standard code form is the name of my company that I was demonstrating to you. That's why I'm showing it here. But if you are, when you set up your company, it's going to come with your data here. So this is like our company, that's the client. So all of the information you add here will come up here. That's the project details. This is the building specification. So as you can see, all of the data there, very clear, concrete details, inclusions and exclusions. So these inclusions and exclusions, they can be modified directly when you're creating that document here. So if I come here to the summary and I say, this is a demo, this is a demo 2, and general notes and terms and conditions, this is what's going to populate those fields there. Okay. So in this example, we're just leaving it blank. Then I have contract price. So as you can see here, no erection, no concrete, no concrete label. Can just check if this is actually what we have for this project. Yeah, erection is set to 0, concrete set to 0. That's why it's all showing 0. So if you go to variables here, as you can see, don't include erection. So I could say actually include erection, or don't include, you know, council fees, like include council fees. So when I save this and I go back to that and I create another contract, then this would update those fields there. And this is what you need to check and flex. As I said, we created something very quickly here using artificial intelligence to create the kind of the model for us, the structure. But now it's really revising and checking that those items are correct. Deposit. So remember those two, I said, hey, that's not going to work because it was actually using a specific variable that Shedmate doesn't support, just on what AI output. So what we need to do here is very, very simple. It's actually just modify those outputs to match what Shedmate includes here on the list. And very easy, you can search here for anything in terms of price. And then let me check. I wish I remember how that variable was named. So let me open that file again. So here's the file that the AI created for us, and that's what I mean. Like we don't have that total. We have total 20, and it actually added here total 20 kit because I said that 40% is a shed kit and 40% is erection. So we didn't have those items. Okay, I think this is how it's set up. Otherwise, the one-to-one meeting team would be able to help. But I can upload this again just to see if it's actually gonna make a change here. So let's go back here to our settings, and I'll do that again. Go to templates, contracts, and then I can upload that contract again. It's locking my computer for some reason. Maybe it's a live event, so let me try on the other screen.
Yeah, it's really good to know how many variables you can use, right? You said that
How many?
more than 40,000.
How many variables? I'll go to the same project again, now that we uploaded the new one, and let's see if it's gonna work now. So instead of this one, that's the one I just uploaded, like Shedmate contract sample. Let me generate the document and open this one up. So this is a process you have to do, is like, we call it flexing, right? You're gonna have to download, you're gonna have to play with it, and you're gonna have like create a file and then refine and revise. But this is much better because you're actually building the engine that will work for you. And once this is done, it's set and forget. You just, okay, there's a new project, boom, boom, done. You have your contract, you have your document, you have everything that you need there. Okay, it opened in my other screen. Let me move it to here. I just want to see if those, yeah, there you go. It worked. So see, so that's an example of, AI created that hallucination of adding that, 40 kit. I just deleted the kit name and now it works. So this is the deposit, this is the progress payment, this is the final payment. And then another objection can come in. That's very common in onboarding. Artur, I don't like those values. Can we round them up? Yes, we can. We can round them up. I'll leave that for another video. We have too much already covering here. But once again, if you go to any project, open that project again, you go to instant quoting, and you go to pricing reports. I'm just trying to remember what it is. There's so many things in Shedmate now, but you have an ability to actually round up. There we go. Enable roundings. So you can round like 10, round up, around the totals, and this is gonna, fix this issue here of having like broken value. So that's it, guys. This is an example of what can be done here in Shedmate. I know we've been jumping in different things, but hopefully we're able to cover many of those challenges, Renato, that we shared with us from the team in terms of number one, how you can implement a 3D online designer faster and start getting return on investment without having to wait to have all of this Shedmate set up complete with all of your pricing, which is another stage, but you can already do that. You can put it on your website. You can, get those leads with the existing systems you have right now, and that just needs a day. You don't need more than that. So you've seen here. We created a website from scratch using artificial intelligence for shared businesses, and that was pretty good, by the way. I really like the outcome.
Yeah, it was.
I'll have a button there. It takes you directly to where you want. Convert that lead. Not having too many things on your website. All you want is to convert the lead, right? And then in the process, we learned a little bit about the contract, about the quoting, and about any other document you want to create from Shedmate using those more than 40,000 variables from different, shed types. You won't need, in most of the cases, you won't need to use that cheat sheet we shared, because most of those variables are already included in the templates we share with you, which includes the client data, your company data, the main shed parameters like concreting details, all of that is already there. So all you have to do is, use the same variables if you want to modify the template. And then we use artificial intelligence here to create a contract based on a quote for us. And the outcome was pretty good in terms of the structure. I really liked it. I think it's really like built how it needs to be built. And once again, we don't understand fully your company, so you need to actually, input your legal team to revise here. But as you can see here, it actually created like a variation. Sorry, I stopped sharing my screen, right? But it created a variation clause. It created like a erection clause, a lot of different clauses for your contract, which is very positive. And that's it, Renato. In less than 1.5 hours, we created a lot of documentation that sometimes people without that knowledge, they might take weeks or months to create it.
Yeah, it was really, really good, this live section. So thanks, Artur. I think that today,
my pleasure.
as you mentioned, we have to demonstrate how practical Shedmate can be for the during the onboarding. And basically this. Thanks everyone for joining us today. And if you have additional questions, please, after the section, you can send us an email at support@shedmate.com.au. If you don't know Shedmate yet and you want to know about the pricing, about what we offer and the options that we have to offer to you, you can contact sales@shedmate.com.au as well. So thanks everyone. See you soon in the next live. So just to remember, every Wednesday at 8 a.m. at the light time, we are here to talk to you a little bit and to explain how Shedmate can help your business. So that's it. Bye bye,
Awesome.
Artur. Thanks for joining us again. And